And then there was 3. Welcome back, my friends. This is your host, ID Jester. We only have 3 games left to review and talk about. Fall Classic, Payoff Pitch, and Inside Pitch. Let's find out what game number 3 on my list is. And that is a big shock, I believe, to a lot of people out there. Payoff Pitch Baseball. So Payoff Pitch Baseball was our number 1 game when we reviewed our previous episodes. It was our number 1 game by a long shot. This year it drops to number 3 on our list. It is an excellent game. I highly recommend it, and we'll talk about why here in just a second, but I wanted to let everyone know I still feel the same way I feel about Payoff Pitch back when I did my original review. I just feel stronger about those other 2 games that are on our list right now. So we'll talk about those when we get to them. But let's talk about Payoff Pitch. So number 1, the game system. You're going to roll on both the pitcher card and the batter card. So you're going to get a result on the pitcher card, and it's going to tell you what the value to look at when you're looking at the batter card. So for example, let's look here. Here's a example of a pitcher card. You're going to roll 2d6. You're getting a result, either tough, defense, ballpark, in play, patient, wheelhouse. And then that is the result you're going to look under when you roll percentile dice from 00 to 99 on the batter's card. So if we roll, say, 66 as a patient versus a left-handed pitcher, you look under left-handed pitcher for 66. It's not there. You go to the out and find 66. And in this case, it'd just be a ground ball to second base. So great interaction between the pitcher and the batter. And it really makes for a very interesting way to get both of the players incorporated into the game at one time. So no 50-50. Both players will have a outcome on the results, and so that is super good. Is there a computer version? Sadly, there is no computer version. There's no utilities. There's no anything electronic to help or play Payoff Pitch. Hopefully eventually there will be, but at this point there is not. Can you order printed cards? Yes. And we're going to talk about these specifically when we talk about the qualities of this game. Can you order PDFs? And again, yes, you can. So you can order the printed cards or you can order the PDFs. Let's talk about the website, shall we? SidelineStrategy.com. And when you go there, you're going to go to the games and the Payoff Pitch resources and give you the information about the Payoff Pitch and more, different free downloads and information and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, if you want to order, you can go to the cart and, not the cart, the shop, sorry, the shop. Go to the shop and then, of course, choose your Payoff Pitch options there. Or, of course, if you happen to be here, you might want to click on the Glory's Day Boxing from our good friend of the channel, Bleacher Bums Gaming, who is the designer, developer, and creator of this game, and support him as well. If you're a boxing aficionado, be sure to check out his channel, Bleacher Bums Gaming. He has lots of videos on the different fighters and the different add-ons to the game. Anyways, while you're here, you can click on the Payoff Pitch Baseball. And of course, then you can choose whether you want a PDF version or a print version or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So there's that information. Before we get to the strengths and weaknesses, let's talk about the value and the quality and all that. So value. You get great value for your costs. The very reasonably priced. I did a video comparing Payoff Pitch with some of the other game systems out there. Dollar for dollar, you get a much better value from some of the other companies out there and how much you receive. And quality. Okay, let's talk about quality. Without a doubt, the Payoff Pitch cards are my number one favorite cards by a long shot. It's not even close. The payoff pitch cards are excellent, excellent cards. Top-notch cards. If you want the best quality cards out there, go order yourself a payoff pitch cards right now. Go do it. Stop this video. Go order a season. You will not be sorry. They are excellent. Support from the company, mods, etc. Blah, blah, blah. As you saw, there was some free stuff there that you can download from the website. But the support from the company has been top-notch, excellent emails, correspondence with the designer, developer of this game. He's always been very receptive. Questions, thoughts, comments, suggestions, excellent communications. If you want to deal with a company that supports their customers, look no farther than Payoff Pitch. Look no farther than Payoff Pitch. They are excellent. Availability of seasons is a little low. Unfortunately, a lot of the seasons that I'm interested in currently do not have a print or PDF copy of the files to download. So availability is a little lackluster. Wish they had more. Unfortunately, this is a game that I think is just a one-man show again, and he creates these files himself. So he can't create like 20 seasons, in a year. It takes some time to develop these cards and everything. So, I'm sure he's working hard on it, and hopefully we'll get some of the seasons that we're interested in. But right now, there's a widespread between some of the seasons, unfortunately. Ease and flow of the game, great flow of the game. Great, just it's very easy to get the results. You're going to look at the 2d6. You're going to see what that falls on the pitcher card. And as your pitcher been out there a few times, you roll a 0-8, you're going to remember, a 0-8's a tough one, or 0-8's a patient one, or a 0-9's an in play. You're going to start to learn those pretty quickly. So the flow of the game is really good. Then you just look at the batter card. And occasionally if there's a runner on and you need to advance the runner, you'll have to look at a chart. Occasionally you'll roll on a defensive chart. So the flow of the game is excellent. All right, let's talk about the game's strengths and weaknesses now. So it is great fun. This game is a pleasure to play. Number one, it's a pleasure because of great game design. Number two, it is a pleasure to play because you have quality components. The cards don't stick together. They're easy to read. They're color-coded. Everything is awesome. You can flip through cards and look for, pinch hitters without cards sticking together. Excellent quality, which really helps in the pleasure of playing. It's an interesting system, as we talked about, where you have that dual roll where you're getting a result from the pitcher, which will alter what the batter gets to do with the roll. So the great interaction there. So awesome interaction between the pitcher and the batter. And players' stats matter, how good they were at walking, it really matters, with a patient result. How good they were at getting a hit, how good they were at hitting a home run for a wheelhouse check. There is great interaction with the ballpark cards as well. The game weaknesses. The charts could be better. I'm not a super big fan of the charts, especially the rare play chart. I'm not a big fan of that at all. I have created my own charts for this game. Again, if you're interested, you can email me at idgesturelive@gmail.com. I'll send you a copy of those. You can watch a video that I've done, it's probably been a month or two ago, about the charts. And I freely distribute those without a problem to anyone, or if you know someone else, they might have a copy of my charts. I've sent out plenty of copies of them. I've gotten a lot of good feedback from them. I'm not saying that they're better than the charts that came with the game. You should try the charts, and if you just don't find them interesting enough, then maybe ask for a copy of my charts, and I'll freely send them to you. Probably the biggest thing that knocks it down from number 1 to number 3 for me is the second weakness, where the pitchers do not have a lefty-righty split on them. So if we looked at our card again, you can see it doesn't matter. We got a right-handed pitcher, and it doesn't matter if he's facing a left-hander or a right-hander, because his result is going to be for either hand, whether it's a lefty or righty. It's either going to be, if we roll a 7, it's going to be a tough. I think there would be a way to devise a lefty-righty split for the pitchers, and that would really flesh out this game. The reason I say that is because it could be a little gamey. I don't play it this way, but you could, where, because the pitcher doesn't have a lefty-righty split, you can bring a right-hander in against the left-hander and not have to worry about it, because the result's going to be the result one way or the other. I try to always use, if I'm bringing in a pitcher, I always try to bring in a pitcher that, if it's a left-handed batter, I usually try to bring in a lefty. And if it's a right-handed batter, I can bring in a right-handed pitcher to kind of get that matchup. The batter cards do, when we look at the batter card here, right? So the batter cards are split into lefties and righties, so that does matter for the batters. And you can see, if I bring in a left-handed pitcher, he's got a much better chance of hitting a home run, so I'm going to bring a right-handed pitcher. So you can use the actual batter card to get better results on which pitcher you're going to bring in. The only thing is, like I said, it can be a little gamey with, if the person hits equally against lefties and righties, then there's no sense in me bringing a lefty against a left-hander, and I can bring in this right-hander that's a lot tougher, got more tough results on his card. So I wish the pitcher cards had more of an option, not even maybe a complete option. Maybe just like on number 5, instead of in play, maybe against right-handers, it would be, it would say like in play / tough. So against left-handers, it's an in play, and then versus right-handers, it'd be tough. So you don't have to completely change the whole card, maybe just a couple lines. Of course, it would be better if all the values were lefty-righty, splitty, because then it would bring in a lot more, fine-tuning of the pitcher versus the batter. Again, it's not that big a deal because of the way the cards are for we can see, obviously, versus a left-handed batter, Frank Duffy obviously hit way better, and it's good that I got this card here. But you can see, for an in-play, Frank Duffy versus right-hander is a 1-24 versus a left-hander is a 1-23. Is that big a difference? It's only like a 2% chance versus a left-hander. He's going to be slightly better than against a right-hander, right? So it can make a big difference, if we're looking at the wheelhouse check, but it could also make no difference whatsoever if we're talking about an in-play check, right? But if that pitcher card, right, if we brought the pitcher card back up and we had a number 5 and versus left-handers, it was in play, versus right-handers, it was tough, we roll a 20-20, right, versus an in play, that would be a single, right? But if he was against a left-hander, that would be a strikeout. If it made it, instead of a in play, it made it to a strikeout. So I think it would definitely bring in more interaction. The interaction already is really good. Don't get me wrong. The interaction is really good. It's just a shame that there is no lefty-righty for pitchers. And the last kind of game weakness for me is the tough pitchers are very tough, right? So I was literally playing the 2018 Atlanta Braves. And the season started, we played Washington, so we played Scherzer and we played Strasburg, and then literally the second or third series of the 2018 season, Atlanta was playing them again, and I had to face them again, and literally I couldn't get a hit off of these guys. The cards were so hard. So maybe this is just a fluke, right? I just think that the hard pitchers are a little bit too hard, and I think the easy pitchers are a little bit too easy, right? So like the guys with the wheelhouse in like the number 7, which I've got a pitcher like that on the 2011 or 2018 Atlanta Braves. I think it's Max Fried. It's like on a 6 or 7 is a wheelhouse check, which is basically, you know, a home run check. And I roll that all the time. All the time. It seems like every time he's out there, he's giving up 3 or 4 home runs. So I just think that, you know, the tough pitchers can be a little bit too tough, where it's like literally tough in play and defense. You know, it's like, wow, I got like no shot against this guy. And then some of the easier players are like wheelhouse, in play, tough, wheelhouse, in play, wheelhouse. And it's like, God, really? Come on. Every time I roll, it's on a hit check, in play or wheelhouse. So, you know, that just might be anomalies in the system, of course. But all in all, great interaction between the pitcher and the batter. Awesome system. I wish the pitchers had lefty-righty splits. I think it would really add to the game. The quality, again, number 1 card of any card that I have. If you told me you can only, you know, every game that you're going to get from now on, Jester, can only have 1 card type. What card type do you want? I would say make it just like Payoff Pitch. And I would be happy with everything. So card quality is awesome. It's got that nice, shiny, slick, glossy finish to it. So the cards are smooth. They don't stick together. They look really good. They play really good. Makes the game that much funner to play. So, you know, it's interesting. It's a fun game. If you have not tried Payoff Pitch, I highly recommend it. You can pick up a PDF for pretty reasonably priced. I think they're between like $10 and $15. But I would highly recommend you spend the extra and get a nice PDF. Or, a nice printed season, because the card quality is that good. And I would order the extra Fringe Player set as with it as well, because getting all the players, just having them all is just awesome. The Payoff Pitch, awesome game. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, you know, like I said, the biggest problem I have is that there's no lefty-righty splits on the pitcher. The charts can be a little better, and the tough pitchers are a little hard. It's a pretty good game if those are my biggest complaints. It's kind of like nitpicking, you know, the color of an apple, right? Oh, okay, well, it's not really the perfect color red. Well, it's still a perfect apple, right? So it's still really, really good. And it makes our number 3. So 2 to go. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.